Alright, so the Sony State of Play just took place. They waited until the very end of the show to give us all of the heavy hitters, including Street Fighter 6 characters, Resident Evil 4 stuff, and Suicide Squad, which looks like it's shaping up to be pretty cool. But before we get into that stuff, there was some more stuff that dropped in regards to that very long rumored Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that we got to talk about. So, if any of that sounds exciting, click the like button, subscribe, smack your bitch up, do whatever you want to stick around and listen to some gaming news. So in regards to Metal Gear Solid 3, there's been rumors for some time now that the game would be receiving a remake. We did cover it on my channel a couple of weeks ago. At the very beginning of the year, it was even rumored that the original Metal Gear Solid would get a remake too, but as of right now, it looks like rumors on 3 getting a remake are starting to gain some traction, and according to Andy Robinson of the VGC podcast, it looks like at this year's E3, Konami is set to have a pretty big event where they're going to announce not only Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, but a brand new Castlevania game as well. Now, there's not any information in regards to both of those games right now. So Castlevania, we don't know if it's going to be a side-scroller 2D or side-scrolling 3D or a combination of 2D, 3D. We do not know what's going on. And as for Metal Gear Solid 3, when I made those videos a couple of weeks ago, there were some people questioning why only 3? What about the original? What about Sons of Liberty? Well, according to Andy, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake is going to be a bit of a testing ground. So should this game get announced and come out and have it actually do well, that will let Konami know, hey, people are still interested in this franchise. We can take the original games like the first Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 and bring those back. Now, whether or not they would bring them back in the form of remakes or remasters is unknown, but again, all of this is just rumor and speculation for the time being. Now on to the state of play, starting with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I was a bit apprehensive about this game from the get-go. A lot of it was just story and trailer stuff, so I'm a big DC fan, so I would have checked out the story anyway, but they opened up with about 3.5 minutes of just pure gameplay footage showcasing all 4 of the characters, and the first thing that immediately stuck out to me was mobility and traversal. Whenever you have a big open world game like this, the mobility is key in making sure that the game is actually fun. If you can't get around town in a fun manner or a fun fashion, you're gonna have a bad time. Gotham Knights comes to mind immediately. The traversal in that game was horrible. Everyone just felt so slow, like they were stuck in mud. It didn't really feel fun, but seeing the gameplay, I'm completely put at ease by how the game is going to play. So you've got Harley Quinn using a drone to swing around the city, kind of like Spider-Man. It looks very fluid and responsive. Deadshot's going to be using a jetpack to fly around. King Shark is going to be able to launch himself into the air, and Captain Boomerang is using Speed Force gauntlets that will allow him to zip around the battlefield, kind of like the Flash. So everyone's mobility looks super fun, and I'm really impressed by that. And the one thing that I kept thinking of while watching this gameplay was the first Crackdown. The first Crackdown, in my opinion, is the best of the 3 Crackdowns. 2 was okay, 3 was a dumpster fire. I'd like to forget that ever happened. But one of the greatest things about Crackdown was the game's mobility and traversal. Running around that city and scaling buildings and towers to collect agility orbs was a lot of fun. So even animation stuff from Crackdown kind of looked like it made its way into Suicide Squad. Seeing King Shark launch himself up into the air and wave his arms and legs around reminded me of the animations from Crackdown. So they did mention that there will be a battle pass, so that was confirmed. However, the battle pass will be for cosmetics only, so that's really nice to know, so it won't affect the gameplay. As for story, they did show us more Flash stuff. We got Lex Luthor in there, and they also debuted Wonder Woman. Now, Wonder Woman looks really great in this game. Great character design, she sounds great as well, and she seems to be the only Justice League member so far that has not actually been affected by whatever Brainiac is doing. So now moving on from Suicide Squad, they showed off Street Fighter 6, the final 3 characters. We got Zangief, Lily, and my personal favorite, Cammy. All of the characters look great, but Cammy to me, we all knew what Cammy was going to look like because of that leak that happened like 8 years ago for the entire roster, but seeing her redesign in action, seeing her do her signature moves like the cannon spike, she looks and sounds fantastic. She even has like the nod to the Street Fighter 2 move from the movie where she jumps on your shoulders and does a handstand and twists around and then knees you. They even threw in a thirst trap pose So I don't know if it's going to be an idle pose or a taunt, but she does this quick little stretch thing and it looks great. But it's Cammy. I was a bit on the fence at first with Street Fighter 6. I like Street Fighter, but my pattern with the series is buy the game, play it for a couple of weeks, and then I lose interest. But seeing this final trailer actually has me really excited for the game now. So, and speaking of Capcom, they gave us a third trailer for Resident Evil 4 Remake, which has so much stuff in it. It's hard to remember off the top of my head, but they did announce that there will be a special demo coming very soon. I'm assuming within the next week or two, since the game is about a month away now, so I don't think they're going to want to wait too close to the release date to get that demo out, but there is a demo coming. They also did say that after launch, they would be releasing for free the Mercenaries mode, so Mercs is coming back. I'm crossing my fingers that Mercenary mode has co-op this go around. The original Mercs mode in RE4 was single player only, and it wasn't until Resident Evil 5 that we got co-op, so I'm crossing my fingers that they do include that co-op into Mercs mode for RE4 Remake this time around. As for the trailer itself, we saw a ton of stuff. We got to see a lot more of Luis with Leon, so it looks like he's going to be sticking around a lot longer in the remake than he did in the original game. We got the minecart section with Luis and Leon just like bantering back and forth with each other. We even got to see Mike in his helicopter. I know it probably won't happen, but I'm crossing my fingers that he doesn't die this time. Poor Mike when he died in the original. Here's hoping that maybe he survives the crash and is able to assist Leon in some form. But overall, I really just love the whole like buddy cop adventure vibe this trailer had with Leon and Luis, them just kind of not necessarily globetrotting, but just traveling around this village and the island and the castle and just like getting on each other's nerves, but knowing they need one another. It's very much like Lethal Weapon kind of stuff. And I really love those vibes so far, so I'm glad that they're really building upon that relationship with Leon and Luis, where it's more like butting of the heads, but they like each other. Whereas in the original, Luis was very mysterious, showed up every once in a while, but you didn't really feel like him and Leon had a strong connection with one another. We saw Leon suplexing enemies, we saw Ashley be infected with the Plagas virus and turn on Leon with a knife. We got to see more of Luis in battle, so it looks like he's going to actually assist us as the player a lot more than he did in the original game, so he's going to have much more competent and smarter AI, which is always a welcome addition to these games. You never want to feel like you're babysitting someone or feel like the AI is just not contributing, so that's really reassuring. And they made sure to include a ton of stuff, not only from the castle, but stuff from the island as well. So battling the two gigantes in that lava pit. Probably one of the biggest things is we finally got to see Krauser, who looks scary. And it's no longer going to be a QTE battle. It's an actual real-time fight with Krauser where you're gonna have to time your blocks and your parries to fight this guy. So that's really cool. It's gonna take what was a cool cutscene with QTEs in the original and actively now get the player participating in the fight. We also got some shots of Ashley creeping around a library looking room. She's got a lantern, so I'm hoping that it's not just like avoid the enemies type of things with Ashley. I'm hoping that we get to do some combat with her. We got a really quick shot of Ada in this game, and then of course Leon being infected with the Plagas as well. So there's tons of stuff going on in this trailer. It looks so action-packed, especially compared to the first trailer. The first trailer was very much spooky, creepy Resident Evil, and this is the more action-y side of Resident Evil 4. So getting to see Leon do his signature stuff like suplexes and working now with Luis even more, it's really exciting. Capcom clearly is on a roll right now. They know what they're doing, and RE4 looks fantastic. Here's hoping that demo comes out very soon. So that is the video. I am Curious Corduroy. Please leave any of your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of those Metal Gear Solid 3 rumors? What do you think about a new Castlevania hitting? And what did you think of the state of play? Was there anything in particular that stuck out to you? What do you think of Suicide Squad? Are you on the fence about the game still, or are you more encouraged by what you saw at this event? And then of course, leave any thoughts in regards to Street Fighter 6 and Resident Evil 4 in the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.